Hello, welcome to Nell at Night. And today we are going to talk about the mind-body connection and how fantastic they work together. So first off, in the brain, we have three areas. And the one that I'm going to talk about today is the limbic system. The other two areas is the cortex, if you didn't hear me and I didn't say it clearly, and the brainstem. Okay, so the limbic system, the reason that I'm talking about this, the brain, is because of how it relates to our body, and so that I can share with you how important it is that we take care of our body and also listen to it, because it gives us information and also stores information from our brain. So the limbic system is the main, is the area that is the house of the amygdala. The amygdala is where we experience the fight or flight, that survival mode that so many of us have heard of. And this survival mode is also considered the older part of the reptilian brain, where we can respond real quickly to threats and really react. This is where our blood will race, our heart palpitations can increase, where we can sweat, where we feel stress, right? Cortisol gets released into the body, where we feel the stress hormones come in, and adrenaline and the adrenal glands are all sort of take action here, or they are the seat of these things happening, right? Which then pass down into the body. So for example, when we get the signal to release cortisol into the bloodstream, that happens up in the brain. But where do we feel it? We feel it in the body, right? So see how these two things are related. So now in this limbic system, we also have what's called the hippocampus. And the hippocampus is responsible for lots of things. I know that I like to just keep things simple when I start to learn about stuff. So if you already know about the hippocampus, great. If this is new to you, we're going to keep it real simple here. So the hippocampus is responsible for memory. So it's where we actually integrate explicit memory and store it up into our prefrontal cortex, right? So what's explicit memory? Explicit memory are memories that we specifically remember, right? So it's the recall system that we have of when you have to study for a test, or you remember something that happened a long time ago. Now here's what's interesting, and here's something that has to do with the body and the other parts of how we learn. There's this other memory portion that we have, and that's called implicit memory. And that is the stuff that we actually don't know that we know. That's the things that we learned when we were just a youngster and that we have no memory of. Yet there's sometimes we will have a reactivation of a feeling in our body, or something will happen without really understanding why. So implicit memory, the best way to explain it, and the way it was explained to me, is that it is something like riding a bike, right? So you don't know, once you get on a bike, you know how to ride it, and it automatically happens. Yet you don't have to pull back and retrieve all of that information, and you actually may not even realize that you know how to ride a bike, except that you're riding the bike. So hopefully that helps explain a little bit about implicit memory. You can also think of it as the unconscious. It's this stuff that gets stored into our body without realizing it. So it's a sort of memory that is not going through the hippocampus, right? The hippocampus is our filter into our logic, into our perceiving and understanding what's happened. Implicit memory does not go through that, so it sort of stays housed like throughout our body. Okay, so why is this important? And it's important because when we increase awareness on things that are coming up for us, we can use our body to teach us about the implicit memories that may not be serving us. So what do I mean about that? I'll tell you a little story about me so that you can maybe understand how this can negatively affect your life or positively affect your life. So I have had different things happen in my life that were really hard for me to deal with. And just recently, like this weekend, which was really tough, this stuff came up, but I didn't understand what it was. So I was starting to feel like all these feelings in my body, and I was like, what is going on? And right now, I'm finishing my schoolwork, and I've got a lot of things on my shoulders, my body, right? I've got a lot of things on my shoulders, and so this activated something that I wasn't able to kind of have in my memory banks as to recall from, but more of just a knowing that this kind of happens when I'm under stress, and I was able to piece together and then create a memory around it that was more explicit. So this is a little complicated, but know that when we kind of pull up this implicit memory, we can actually then learn from it, understand it, and then bring it through that hippocampus and bring it up into our logical mind and take care of ourselves and respond around it. So, talking fast. I don't know if you're over there, you can feel my wheels churning over here, because this was big stuff for me. And when things like that happen, I feel like, oh, you know what? I bet you this stuff happens for other people too. So I'm going to go deeper into this. There's a lot to this, a lot about the body. Still have more stuff to talk about. Hope this share was really giving you what you needed today. And I'm wishing you lots and lots of smiles and love in your life. Be well. Thank you.